Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy Heroes video and to Season 33 of Grand Arena, which is 3v3 season. Slightly different format today than usual, as this is going to be a highlight reel of some of the fights I had across all 6 rounds on both my Jammax and Solo accounts. I actually did really well this first week, winning all 3 on Jammax and winning 2 on Solo, and as it has turned out, both my accounts are 5 points away from each other, as I will show you here. So as you can see, my Jammax count is currently higher on 3708 and I'm on 3703 on Solo. That is one of the closest I've ever got. I think the closest I ever got was 3 points away. So I'm hoping to line up both my accounts just to make things a bit interesting, just so I can fight myself and try out my own mods, I suppose. That is probably the real reason I want to do that. But anyway, like I mentioned, this will be a reel of fights for my Grand Arenas to hopefully help you in your own Grand Arenas. So if you do happen to enjoy the video, a like and comment is always much appreciated. And don't forget to hit that sub button down below so we can hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. I do have a subscriber special coming for that milestone that I'm still working on at the moment. And just to mention quickly before we get into it, all the fights in this video are going to be chaptered down below so you can skip to certain fights and I'll put them all in order so it's easier to follow and understand. But let's just jump straight into the video. Okay, so first off we have Bam v Hux. This one's quite a relatively straightforward fight. No datacrons or anything to attack with. I'm trying to kill Hux first, he's going to be the most annoying, even though that Sith Trooper will take an extra turn because of that, but that's fine. Cleanse. We're going to go for Sith Trooper next. Then I believe we use IG to do a heal to stall out a little bit so we can... Oh, maybe not yet. Should be after this go. Let's do a heal here, then we do a heal with IG, just so I can get the Spectrum recovery from Bam, and then we get full banners for this fight. Now we have Bad Batch versus Finn. This is literally very straightforward. They never even take a turn. Finn might take a turn. I can't really remember how this goes, but Bo took a turn. This is a full banner win here, I think. Just tell me to say max banners there, that's good. Now we have Bad Batch versus Qui-Gon. I'm not having the best of luck using Bad Batch versus Qui-Gon at the moment in 3s. Seems way more unreliable obviously than it does in 5s because you don't really have the literally don't have the control through the defense up from Wrecker, which is the only unfortunate thing. And that variation doesn't really work too well. So I'm probably going to try and start using Nute Jango if I can. Or potentially the JKR Jolie with her, not Hermit, sorry, Grandmaster Yoda. Try and see if I can get some better banners because I've been doing too great with Bad Batch proving way too unreliable for my liking. As you see, we're just trying to keep them under control a little bit, stopping Anakin from wiping us out with an AoE, so get rid of him first. Go for a stun to heal us up a little bit. Not a stun because you have foresight, but that ability for the heal. Stun there, I was just trying to stall out, see if we can get some extra banners, which we managed to get 1 back on Echo, so we've got 55 there. Now we have DR versus Dash Cron. So obviously he's getting bonus turns. Luckily we're able to keep him under a bit of control with Fear, but we do manage to make a bit of a mistake in a bit with DR, where I should have done a basic. So here I should have done a basic, that probably would have killed Dash, and yeah, my Malak got wiped out. So that wasn't too great, but one shot's a one shot. Now we have DR versus Malgus, same lineup as before. Start versus Eradicate Malgus with 2 Omicrons. This one was very spicy. I wasn't really too sure how this was going to play when I was to doing this in my Grand Arena. I didn't really have many options left, and I threw this out there and was hoping for the best really. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get rid of Bastila first. Luckily the shock on Malgus is stopping him from taunting. We're very lucky there that Malgus didn't, that Bastila didn't kill my Bastila first. This isn't something I would probably advise doing. I just wanted to show it just to show that it's actually doable. Get lucky with some of the attacks like I have. This kills Bastila, I believe it does. So now we're just going to deal with the others. Obviously this doesn't kill Darth Revan because of his unique where he equalizes health. And that's just a case of cleaning up Malgus. The death mark doesn't really do much to him. It's just you are hoping for raw damage here. Trying to keep some shock on him, just stop him getting any buffs. Just a case of just trying to get rid of him. I think we lose someone. I think he leaps someone. And got rid of Bastila, unfortunately. Apply the shock again. I needed a drain there just to get the 3 stacks so we can apply healing immunity on basic, but I don't think it anyway. And there you go, dead for 53. Now DR again versus Raddus. This is Omicron Raddus, obviously Relic 9. Wasn't too bad. Obviously debuffs don't tend to land on Raddus because of his very high base tenacity. Just trying to get rid of Cassian first. Put tenacity down, which is going to help landing debuffs on Raddus. Start to pull him down a bit because obviously we can't kill Jin yet until he's dead. That'll be a 56. So now we have a Darth Vader solo versus CLS. I'm trying to cycle round, obviously, to getting my Darth Vader to die and CLS to switch forms, because when he switches his forms, he loses 100% tenacity that he gains from his, I don't know if it's from his unique or that ability, but he obviously has increased tenacity while he doesn't have it. And now, as you can see, we are able to land debuffs on CLS. So I'm just trying to work my way around. I was like, okay, I'll throw the saber at CLS, kill him, and then we just finish with an AoE saber throw. 58. Now Darth Vader versus Raddus. This is one I wouldn't probably recommend to do so much because he is Empire, of course. But I do think you'll be fine as long as you can start to land those debuffs on the Rogue One team. What I completely forgot is that while I was doing this, obviously I did realise, as you'll start to see, that the basic can't be resisted by rebel enemies. So that was one way I was able to land some hits onto Raddus and get my debuffs so I could recycle my Merciless Massacres to use basics. And obviously if I used my AoE on K2SO, it couldn't counter me to trigger those exposes. So it's just a case of like whittling them all down. Eventually they all die. Very risky, like I mentioned, but straightforward. This will work against most Rogue One teams, because obviously, like I mentioned, you can land those ability blocks on the basic as long as you just basic and do your AoE on anyone that can counter. Now we have Emperor Palpatine Mara versus Crew. This one I was just doing for a bit of fun in one of my Grand Arenas. I know it's quite cheesy doing these cooldown decreases, so I was just spamming throwing all my AoEs out, and then I tried to see how many cycles we could get on Grand Moff Tarkin before he before someone else took a turn, so I was like, okay, I'll put some full auto, see how many. Well, that's actually going to make any difference to his damage, but I was see how much we get. So it's essentially just building up to 12 stacks of whatever Mara's lock buff is called, I can't remember, because she'll start to deal a lot of damage once that's hit max stacks. So sped up the footage here. Very nice at max banners there. Now we have EP Mara versus Hux. I definitely shouldn't have done an AoE there, that was my fault for trying to stun crew. I should have probably done a basic or done the second special because that would have stealthed me so they wouldn't be able to counter, but that would have got me a few banners if I had done that rather than what I did actually do. So we're just going to try and kill Hux first. Obviously he's got the cleanse. We want him cleansing. I'll try and stun first of all TIE Pilot there, didn't get the stun unfortunately. It's a case of cleaning up crew. Then as before, already just building up those stacks of lock buff. Did for 54 there, and now we have Chirpa Omicron versus Embo. Luckily this Embo didn't have the Zeta, so he can be critically hit, so that was very helpful to actually get the Ewoks to do a decent amount of damage here. Well, they do much damage anyway. Really too much to explain here, but then trying to kill the characters that do the most damage first that I can actually attack. Obviously I would ideally like to go to Dengar because of the bombs, but only with Embo first. Get him out of the way. Nice bit of a freeze there. Getting a few freezes on blue stacks when I've been doing my recordings. Don't know why. We just got Dengar to kill. I think we get 54 here. Yeah. Now we have Gas v Dash. I'm not the biggest fan of this, especially with L3. If there's a really good L3, it can be super annoying because it takes ages to kill her. But luckily this wasn't too great, so we're able to get through it. Do of course lose our sacrifice, so Fives dies. It's very good if you can actually start. If Dash starts, it can prove to be a bit dicey. Because if you start, it kind of gives you a bit more time to do some more damage. Obviously, if you don't start, as you can see, another freeze. we did execute Dash there because he can't be revived because of Gas's leadership. We got 52 there. Now we have Gas versus Iden. This pretty standard counter. Not great banners as most Gas teams are, but gets the job done. Obviously, same principles stands here as the last fight. Anyone that dies from any time can't be revived, regardless of whether they have the revive ability from Iden. But I did start to notice, and as you can see, their Stormtrooper is very tanky. Relic 7, pretty nasty. So I was kind of waiting for Rexecute to try and kill Stormtrooper. Didn't think we were going to have enough turns to kill him, but just dealing enough damage would have been enough. So we pop it here. It doesn't kill him, but we can kill him with gas. Andy. And that's just a case of keeping everyone under control. I probably should have done the daze first, then the armor shred, just to stop Iden from countering me. But let's play that. It's going to sit down, but luckily we've got Rexecute, so we can just get rid of Iden straight away. Right, and luckily now we don't have the Malgus Datacron. Gas does work against Malgus again. Like it was before the Datacron, no, it's still very dicey, not really a great counter. It definitely does vary depending on what the lineup is. Luckily this is one of the easier lineups with two kind of squishy sides. Malgus being the only tanky character on the team. I do believe we do lose fives again to a sacrifice. That's too much. Rex here. Yeah. Lose him and then we get sacrifice, of course. Nice dodge there. That was very handy. My Rex alive longer, because obviously the more times that gas can sit down and stand up, the more likely you are to win, essentially. Because you're just going to be ramping up that damage, which will be enough to eventually get through Darth Maul's protection. Then you can start to reduce his max health, and that is the way you get rid of him with gas. It would be really nice to see gas get the same treatment as Night Sisters got with Grand Arena. Some sort of like protection recovery Omicron would be really nice. Even like fives coming back from sacrifice would be absolutely brilliant for banners. That would be amazing. I don't think we will. So we don't really know what's going to happen with Omicrons. They just seem to be updating them randomly. That's just a case of getting through Malgus. Luckily he's got no protection, so we can just chunk through his health quite easily by reducing it every time he hits with gas. So Execute does kill him. Now we have Hux versus Night Sisters with the First Order type pilot Omicron. Using one of the new Datacrons for First Order. I do believe we get full banners here. .57 banners there. Now this was quite interesting. I saw the Raddus didn't have the Omicron, so I decided to try and see if I could use Raddus, even though my guys are Empire again. Just wanted to see how this would fare, see whether we could get through the guys that we needed to get through. Luckily we are able to keep everyone under control, pretty much. That is pretty much what the Iden team's all about. We do terminate Raddus here just in case Jin took a turn. He can't be revived now because obviously anyone killed by that ability can't be revived. Scarif for max banners. Now JKR versus Sortie. We are going to go for IG first. He is the biggest threat on this team. See, T3 will take a turn, then he will, and he could do a lot of damage. Land a lot of debuffs. I just thought while he's out in the open, land that buff immunity on him, stop him getting stealth, and then we can just kill him. And we just have to wait for direct focus again from JKR to kill Sortie. RG's dead. Kill T3. Now it's just a case of waiting for direct focus to come back so we can land that buff immunity to stop Sortie getting her protection up. I think I do put this on full auto. Landed that direct focus, which we do. There we go for 56. Now same team again, but versus Boba with Zam Omicron. So you focus Zam first, just get her out of here. Just so you get rid of that Omicron bonus. Reduces the effectiveness of Boba by quite a lot as soon as you get rid of her. Do you think we get us Saviour off? Do have a lot of debuffs on us. Yeah, there's the save here there, but that actually works out pretty well for recovering some banners because that puts us back to 100% health and protection. Then Dengar decides he has other ideas and steals all my banners. I do think we get a... yeah, missed a couple of banners there, actually. Now JKR again, kind of same principle. Rid of the biggest threat first, so we're just going after Shaak T because I don't really want to be giving the other troopers on the sides their retribution, which is from Shaak T's unique. And as I say that, obviously I did do a bit of misplay there, doing an AoE and then again, luckily they didn't counter. Seem to be wanting to go after Yoda quite a lot, so I do think he does die and then we revive him. Saviour there from JKR. Shaak T's dead. Got the bus, but then obviously the turret will probably steal most of them anyway. Kind of hoping that was going to do more damage, but it didn't. Then we lose our... do revive him here. See, Echo decides that he wants to steal some banners as well. Going from here, just trying to cover some banners. Probably should have healed up Yoda there. But I just want to make sure we got the full protection on JKR, which I do believe we do. Should be a 55, which it was. I know what you're thinking. Probably did this already. This is just a slightly different lineup. I just want to show you that JKR does work against both Shaak T variants that you might see with Fire first. As you saw in the first one, we did have Echo and Arc Trooper. This time we have Rex and Fives. I think this one's a bit easier. We just go straight for the sacrifice here, just so we can get rid of Fives. There's no point really worrying too much about sacrifice in this scenario because I managed to kill Shaak T pretty quickly, and he's very unlikely going to have his Rectecute ready turns if he ever got a turn, which he doesn't because should stun him. Okay, now for my only Jabba fight of this video. We do taking JMK against it. See, because we tend to be using SLKR versus the LVs at the moment. Does seem pretty straightforward. Obviously, Chrysanthemum is going to revive from that cat leap, but it just allows us to get rid of him and then go after a boost straight away. There, I probably should have done the first special, the General Kenobi rather than the assist. Do manage to kill Boosh, that's fine, and then we just got to deal with Chrysanthemum again. This was against a no ult Jabba. I think if the Jabba did have the ult, I definitely would have lost a couple of players. It probably would have come down to 1v1 versus JMK. Also, it may not have actually got to ultimate though, I'm just thinking now because of all the lack of thermals. So he only throws his thermals once every now and then because of his AoE. If we kill Boosh off quickly like we did, we should be able to build ult too quick. I don't know how that would actually play out. You have to let me know if you fought Jabba with the ultimate with JMK. How many banners did you get? Did they all survive or did you lose a couple? Don't really know. Obviously I haven't played against that. Not too sure how that works out. Now it's got Jamma to deal with, like we got healing immunity, but then it drops off because Jamma's pretty fast. Bunch of turns. The armor shred is going to really help out. We apply that healing immunity, get the vulnerability on as well. Get rid of him with a nice big 350k hit. Yeah, now we probably have one of the best counters to Qui-Gon Jinn. It does obviously pull out a GL. If you can afford to do it, why not? Because this is a 58 banner win, which is obviously JML Solo versus Qui-Gon. So the biggest threat here is obviously Jedi Knight Anakin, so you just want to get rid of him as soon as possible. That healing immunity and buff immunity is not nice to have, so he is the big threat. So get rid of him first, and then it is pretty going. Or in this case, an AoE kill Qui-Gon. Luckily it wasn't the cam variant, so they weren't doing as much damage as they would with obviously cam being there. And it seems a bit of a waste for General Kenobi. Take a nice easy 58 banners. Trying to kill Bastila as soon as we can. JML versus Darth Revan. And I was like, do I go for the shatter point? I was like, no, let's just get rid of Bastila. Didn't quite kill her, which is really annoying. He's going to take a turn now. Could have avoided that if we managed to kill her, obviously, on that last turn. Got her dead there, though. That's good. Malak got damage, and then we kill him with a counter. And I was just trying to see whether I wanted to get vulnerability up, which I decided I wanted, and then we kill Darth Revan with a nice AoE. Now we have JML versus Malgus. This never used to work with the Datacrons, but it is a lot easier to do now. It does take quite a while, and it still pulls a GL, which is the unfortunate thing. As you can see, that is a Relic 9 Malgus with 3 Omicrons, so I wasn't messing about with it. He's still a big threat even without his run. I managed to kill 2 sides off relatively quickly because of JML's lead ability, and now it's just a case of whittling down Malgus again. Luckily JKL's basic does more damage to tanks, so I would make sure to utilise that more than I'm showing you in this fight. Obviously if I could have replayed this, I would have basicked more with JKL at this point. I probably would have basic there rather than doing the lead ability. I was just thinking about building to ultimate, see whether that would have helped get through. I don't think we actually need it. Might do. Yeah, I think we do get to it. I probably should have basic there. The ult, and then I think it's relatively quickly he dies off this. It's here, I was like, I might as well just basic, and look what happens, he dies. Should have done so much more with them earlier on. I would have got that fight over and done with a lot quicker. Now JML versus Rey. This is against an Omicron Ben Solo with all three of his Omicrons, I might add. But luckily it wasn't the Hermit Yoda variant, so it was relatively straightforward. Obviously you're just lining up those kill shots. You can ignore Holdo because she's not doing anything. If she's not taunting, just leave her alone. So you're trying to get Ben into a damage immunity, just so it becomes easier to kill after this third ultimate. Here I was a bit worried about Hermit dying, so I just gave Master Training over to Jedi Master Luke, sorry. He dies. A bit unfortunate with the healing immunity on Jedi Knight Luke. Luckily his stun does lots of damage to GLs because obviously they can't be stunned, so it does damage instead. Now we can kill Ben, but he does get revived from the Omicron. And I think we kill him again. Then we're just kind of waiting because Ben's going to come back again. Now we're just trying to line up kill shots. So I'm just going to try and get Ben and Rey both low. Luckily I managed keeping the taunt on JML. Now we can kill Rey off. Here I probably should have stalled and done a stun. I didn't think Holdo was going to die to that, so I probably could have got a couple more banners there. Right, now Malak versus Shaak T. My Malak in this is only Relic 5. This is a lot easier if you do have Relic 7 Malak. There's less risk of you dying. Don't really try this against the 5's Rex variant if you do have quite a weak Malak, because you are very likely going to die. This one's not too bad. Managed to get rid of Shaak T pretty quickly. This was, oh my god, we haven't triggered my threshold. I was like, here we go, now I can heal up a bit. Get a bit worried that I was going to die while I was fighting this. Fortunately, I'm going to have to eat some counters from Arc. Not really much we can do about that. I think we're going to get 58 here because I was never able to heal back up to full. Yeah, that should be a 59 if you have a better modded Malak than mine. Now probably his most favourable counter for Malak solos is Padme. That courage doesn't do anything to him. It's just all about raw damage for them. Pretty straightforward, this fight. Just trying to get rid of Ayla first because of her stuns. I think this is my Relic 5 Malak again on my Jammax account. I was a bit worried about Ayla just stun locking me. Luckily we are getting some good resists here. Probably should have went to Ayla there, which I missed because I thought Rekka was still taunting. Nice little freeze there again. Now we can get rid of Ayla. Don't have to worry about those stuns, but we obviously have to still worry about Padme stun. I was hoping to get Rekka under 100% health to do the drain, but didn't quite get there. I think Padme heals, yeah. Is always the case when you get someone low. Padme's like, nope, here's a heal. She does it again. Yeah. Really annoying. Just as I'm about to get drained, Padme's like, nope. Okay, now Mon Mothma versus GG. Did misplay this slightly. Should have gone after B2 there rather than attacking Magna. His buff immunity is a big killer for this, because obviously if Kara can't get her potency up or has it dispel, she won't be able to revive, and I'll have to waste Mon Mothma's revive, which you don't really want to do quite early on. Luckily, Mon Mothma does dispel, and I'm able to land a ability block there from Kyle. Obviously, once B2's gone, just to whittle down Magna and then obviously kill at GG and try and recover as many banners as you can, basically. Here I probably shouldn't have thrown the save there. I should have waited one more turn so I could have got my Jedi Knight ability, because that would obviously recover protection if I had Jedi Knight. Do you think we're able to get around to it again? Yeah, we do. So we do manage to get the protection recovery. Get 55 banners on back on Kyle. And this was quite an amusing fight. I thought I was fighting a Nute Jango squad, so I just took in my Mon Mothma because it's a very good counter against this. And then realised that it was actually Jango leads with Nute and B1. When I was fighting, I was like, this is bugged or something because Nute's in the wrong spot, but that was actually Jango in the lead spot. But we do have a Nute Jango team coming up after this for Mon Mothma. This one's a lot easier. Nute one. Well, I found it a lot easier at least. B1 doesn't really benefit much from Jango's lead, so that was a bit of an odd squad. Nice big heal for 4 banners. Now we have the proper variant of the team that I thought I was fighting last time. With Nute Jango B1. Same strategy as before, just kill B1 first. Knock his stacks down really quickly. Obviously he'll keep healing up the others anyway. I'll just get rid of him. And it is more or less the same strat. Kill Jango afterwards and then Nute last. Nice bit of protection recovery, but Nute is notorious banner stealer with his extortion, which you're about to see there. Really annoying. Here we get a 55 here. Yeah. Now the last variant of Nute, which is Nute Jango Dooku. More or less the same thing here. I didn't want to go after Dooku because obviously the counters, so I decided to try and kill Nute first. And luckily because of his unique, he will go back under stealth, so we can still target him anyway, as long as the others stay in stealth. I think Jango actually comes out of in a second. The car is looking pretty low there. Didn't want to risk counter there, so I just got rid of the extortion. Cara being low. Worth the risk. Right, Nute's gone now because he's died twice. Not throwing out that AoE just to stop the counters from Dooku. Obviously he'll be hitting under protection with his riposte or boost. Now we might as well do it because I was trying to reduce his turn meter but it didn't work. Go for a saber throw. It kills him for a 56. Now we have probably one of my favourite counters for 3v3, and that is Nest versus Maul. Obviously Kira's just there. She was only gear 10, she's literally only there for her lead ability. You do have to be quite careful with Bo. If Bo and Bam was here, this could time out or you don't kill either of them, just because of Bo's unique with recovering protection. It can prove to be a bit annoying, but luckily with Canderous here, it wasn't too bad, and we were able to ramp up our damage enough to be able to deal with the whole team. It does work in 5s as well, depending on the comp, like I just mentioned. And it is a very cheap counter for basically a 2-person counter to a 5 or 3-man. So, and a Maul is a very good character at the moment, obviously with LV being very much in the meta for Grand Arena and Territory Wars and anything PvP related at the moment. So these Mauldo teams aren't too popular or common at the moment, but you will obviously see them when LV's Datacon does expire in December. Talking of December, who's looking forward to the new TB? I definitely am. I'm sick of Geo. I've been for almost a year now. That's why you tend to see a lot of videos of me trying stuff out, because I get bored of using the same teams all the time. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Hope you all are as well. Probably could have done that big hit and the stun on Bo that you just saw, but Canderous was really annoying me. Obviously, when Maul does his whatever his second special is called, Canderous takes ages to take all 3 of his hits. So I was just trying to speed up the fight a little bit by stunning him, and hope he will ramp up enough damage to be able to kill him and Bo. Obviously, if you do have the Zeta, you can go around that taunt. You don't necessarily have to hit whoever's taunting. It just happens to be that they're normally the weakest, so you just tend to keep going for them anyway. Because of all the counters. Boom, for a 55. Now, because of Qui-Gon Jinn, I'm starting to take Nute Jango B1 on offense. I just find it's a very good offense team. The fact that Jango can kill people and they can't be revived makes it very good against certain Omicrons like this. Obviously against Tusken Raid Omicron. So if they die from Jango, they can't be revived, which is very helpful. lot of cases. And obviously this team does have a very good, well, cheap counter in Mon Mothma on when they're on defense, so it's not really worth it. And they normally give you full banners on defense to the opponent, that is. So they're all dead, so you just got to kill like that. By 58 or 57 or whatever it was. I don't really see that. Paying attention. But Padme versus Bam. This is quite a well-known counter as well for Bam in threes. Just about stacking up that courage, kind of chunk through everyone. This is a bit riskier. I would normally take Soga here, but I'd already used her in another fight. It would have normally been Mace, Padme, and Ahsoka. Halo wouldn't really normally get used here because they do get tested up a lot, as you can see. Really unfortunate not to kill Quill there. If I killed Quill, that would have been a lot easier. Passing the tab back to Padme when I can to give her more turns so we can get that heal back as soon as we can. Luckily, Bam's AI is pretty dumb. So obviously he's giving damage immunity there to Quill, but you won't really want to be giving it to IG-11 because he could actually be attacked. Just wanted to get the eye up Quill so we can try and kill him. We could have killed IG-11. I'm not sure why I'm not attacking him. Drawing out the fight longer than really needs be. Got another heal coming. And Bam decides he's going to steal all my protection up, so I do lose all my courage stacks off Halo at least. Now we can kill Quill here. Oh, I thought I did. Yeah, there we go. And now it's relatively straightforward now that Quill is dead. Does make killing IG a lot easier when Quill is gone. That was why I was trying to go for him when we were able to. We killed Bam here. Do there. There we go, 55. Yep, Padme got full protection. Others didn't. Now we have my first ever fight against Phasma Datacron. This was interesting to say the least. Phasma's AI on defense is not very good at all. I definitely feel like this is going to be more of an offense-based Datacron because all she does is spam her special, and she's just killing herself doing this because she's not a tank. She's relatively easy to kill. See all the assists from Sith Troopers helping me stack up my protection. That's why I took Padme in, and kind of more or less just left over Galactic Republic, I guess. So I probably would have used the other Bad Batch against Qui-Gon or something else, and then obviously the rest of the Bad Batch crew I had left over, I was able to take them with Padme. The only unfortunate thing is that Omega isn't Galactic Republic, so she isn't benefiting from these courage stacks. That is important to note. You are only going to get benefit from courage stacks from Wrecker and Padme. Yeah. Just so funny the AI, how it works. Just she hasn't done any of her other abilities or anything other than the Terminator boost. Well, it might be better in 5s on defense, but I just wasn't really seeing the benefit here of it in 3s, other than obviously taking a lot of turns, but it wasn't really doing much to me. Kill her here, which we do. Now we just got to deal with Sith Trooper to try and keep him under some sort of control. 25 stacks of courage there. Didn't get to use all of them for some reason. I don't know why. Stormtrooper just didn't die one shot there. So they do have the damage immunity from 50%, but that should have just one shot, so I'm not really too sure how that really interacts with that sort of team. Damage immunity again, but allows us to get a heal. A kick to finish. A 54. Now another Padme, this time versus Shaak T and the Echo Arc lineup. This is a very good counter for this as well because of all the assists, obviously helping you stay alive with the protection up that you'll be getting from those out of turn assists and stuff. Here I was just desperate to try and kill Arc. This wasn't working how I wanted it. Just didn't have that damage output unfortunately because I'm not keeping my courage stacked. I'll get in some nice stuns, so that does help out a lot. I think at this point I probably should have given up trying to go for the Sarge and just killed off Shaak T. Probably would have been the most beneficial way of getting through this. Luckily Ayla survived there. Was a big hit, but Shaak T is just going to heal up that, unfortunately. Literally just been trying to get a decent amount of courage stacked up on someone in order to one-shot one of the clones, but they do seem to be spreading out their attacks more and getting rid of all my protection up with the turret. Very unfortunate, and obviously Echo's grenade doesn't help either. Ayla just about surviving again. There we go. Nice 10 stack of courage there. Do a big hit to Echo to kill him. It was just a case of cleaning up Shaak T afterwards. Let's be another 54 win. I believe this is the last Padme fight against a Shaak Batch team. This one was obviously more straightforward for me as I just realised I just need to go for Shaak T. And now that Shaak T is dead, we don't have to worry about any more retribution coming on the board. Nice big kick to kill Echo for 55. And now we have the only time I ever took Qui-Gon on offense. Beat a Maul team. Just trying some different things out, trying to put a different defense down, but I eventually just decided to put Qui-Gon and Jim back on. It's because I didn't really think he was worth the banners on offense. I think this is only 54 banner win. It would have been even worse if the Qui-Gon Jinn had died. Now we have a Asajj Omicron Solo versus CLS. This is on full auto as well, so it's pretty easy. Luckily Asajj's AI is pretty good in that he'll only basic till an opponent is at the 50% threshold in order to do his leap and do the massive damage. That really isn't that massive anymore. Obviously he's one of the original characters from when the game launched, so that massive 100k damage just isn't a lot when you think about all the amount of damage that all the characters can do these days. Obviously, it is enough most of the time to kill any character that's under 50% health. Assuming that they can take all that damage. There goes Chewie for a maximum balance of, well, technically 58 there. Now we have a C solo versus Malgus. If this was Datacron times, he would have had to have taken Wat, but luckily he isn't really too needed anymore because Malgus won't constantly leap you, which means you can survive. Another game freeze, annoyingly. Fill out that survey, but I was gutted I didn't get the extra rewards for filling out a survey, which turned out to be the first one when I did the second one. But it's not too much of an issue. It's kind of would have been nice, but the end of the world. Obviously, just trying to keep deceived on everyone. Charges up the ult the quickest. Now we just got to wait in order to pop it. Unfortunately, Malgus did increase my cooldown, so I won't be able to pop it straight away, I don't think. Do get Billy's blocks as well. Good. It's pretty much a 57, or 58, sorry. You get the full health there, which is nice. And now another C solo, but this time versus Emperor Palpatine Starkiller. This one's also relatively straightforward. You link up Starkiller and Mara. And it was normally very tempting here to use your protection recovery, because you do tend to lose about 50% of your protection. But what I like to do is I like to apply Deceived first, so that can start spreading and that will really charge up your ultimate. That will normally mean that Starkiller won't quite get to his ultimate, so you can obviously pop yours and kill Starkiller before he does his, which means you don't really need to take Wat with you for these. Which obviously means you can use him against SLKR, against LV, sorry, with SLKR or another counter that you may want to use. As you can see, 97 things on Starkiller, so he was 3 off getting his ultimate, but just because we put that Deceived on at the beginning, we were able to outspeed the ultimate charge that Starkiller was getting. Now it's a tickle fight to see which C was better. See, mine is obviously that one wasn't even a C, it was an Emperor Palpatine. This one wasn't too great. I was kind of running out of characters really that use. I'd obviously just used Wat with SLKR to be LV, which would have been ideal. So I kind of took in Armorer, kind of hoping that I would have been able to get the Beskar onto C, but we didn't quite unfortunately get that, and I didn't realise that I'd messed with my mods obviously to enable me to get 3 stacks of Beskar and then switch with Thrawn to then apply it to C. Obviously must have upgraded some mods and thrown my speed out of whack, so that didn't quite work out as we'd hoped. Do get quite lucky here in that we are able to pop our ult, kill off our Luke at least. Even though JML just did increase my cooldowns unfortunately, but I think we are able to pop it here. Now kill off sides. I just realised that was Grandmaster and not Hermit. I don't know if I was saying Hermit. The 50 banner's not too great there. Now we have the start of all my SLKR fights. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, I'm counting wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fights against LV. All using different counters and variants. Fighting different variants, sorry. So this one I was obviously first Thrawn and Royal Guard. You can expect that all the LVs I'm fighting in this all have level 9 Datacrons with the cooldown reduction. and all the other nasty business. So I will probably not speak much of this over this because it's pretty straightforward. I will just say, however, I do have the Datacron that isn't maxed out, so there's no actual bonus for SLKR. It just has the level 6 bonus for when I stun someone, which is obviously very helpful with SLKR. I do get speed up and offense up, which really helps against LV. I'm finding at the moment. You can get retribution, but I'm just finding it's not as helpful with SLKR because of LV's constant days, because he obviously gets his AoE back constantly, and that'll just keep applying days. So I just find that 3-turn retribution isn't as helpful at the moment, and would rather have what I have at the moment, which is obviously the stun, like I just mentioned. And my level 3 is the gaining offense and speed when a dark side ally dies. So I've just got that from Wat dying. Get any from armor, but it's fine. Yeah, I do think I will probably re-roll what is now my SLKR Datacron to try and get retribution once the LV Datacron has expired. But for those reasons I just mentioned, I am just keeping it with the stun, with the offense and speed up, because I just feel like it is way more beneficial for killing LV at least. I have sped up all these SLKR versus LV fights to show that it's really quite simple. Obviously, once you just go LV on your own, obviously assuming that you've got enough protection recovery or something to keep you alive, or a Datacron of some sort. I didn't really think you guys wanted to watch me smack 5 LVs for the full amount of time, so I just put this on faster. I have a slightly different lineup, just Wat this time with Hux. Same Datacron as before, just a level 6 and level 3 bonus. Normally keep getting freezes sometimes with LV fights, I don't know why. It just tends to happen always on the first AoE, but then it will come back. Just want to mention also that all these LV fights with SLKR are 50 banner wins. You can't really do much else against LV at the moment for higher banners. Just because at the moment, especially with the Datacron set, you are relying on your teammates dying off to help your SLKR kill the LV. That's the only problem. Same thing again as last time, just double tank setup. So instead of Thrawn, kill off the sides first, deal with LV last. Trying to keep them both all alive as much as possible, but to try and help when I do an AoE to charge my ultimate up a bit quicker. As you can see, we're not even at the first threshold yet. That's that LV dead. Now we probably have the most common lineup, which is obviously including Maul. But this time I'm not actually taking a Datacron. As you can see, my armor in this is only gear 12. I was kind of just hoping for the best, that we could try and at least get 2 stacks on him. hope that Maul doesn't kill SLKR, which can happen. But luckily with both the Shield Tech and Beskar stacks, it does help a lot with SLKR survivability, getting him high enough health in order to tank Maul's 5 hits. I would also just like to mention that both my SLKRs in these counter footage are both modded with an accuracy arrow. As you may know from the LV datacrons, there is a lot of dodge going around, especially at the top end in Kyber 1, Kyber 2. You see quite a lot of dodge, so having the extra 30% accuracy from that arrow really does help, even at the cost of slowing down your Supreme Leader Carlo. Not that you really saw that there was a dodge there at all, but it definitely just increases your chances just in case there is some dodge that you have to deal with. And don't worry too much if you do have an accuracy arrow that breaks a set, as long as it doesn't break your fourth set. So you're either, I assume that most of you are probably running an offense set or a speed set. So as long as it really doesn't break either of those two, you should be okay. It can break your health set or whatever you've got as the second one, the two mod set. Yeah, just saves a lot of frustration when your SLKR isn't hitting the LV, as I know probably a lot of you feel at the moment. There's definitely nothing worse than seeing the dodge to come up on the other side. In ships or LV fights, well, in any fight really. Not a great sight either, anywhere, unless it's because you've hit foresight, which kind of makes sense, so that's just part of the actual game mechanic rather than RNG. Nice 600k hit to kill LV there, that was very nice. A double tank setup again, but this time a crew, so there is an allied force user, so they're getting a bit of extra stats in there. I decided to take FOST here just to take some heat off SLKR. The reason we stunned crew at the beginning was because of his first special with his stun. Obviously he has a 2-turn stun, so I don't really want my Wat getting stunned or anything like that. At this point it's not really too much of an issue if he does decide to stun FOST, because we can just cleanse it with Wat. We can stun him again. Speed and offense up. Unfortunately not getting any assists from FOST's Zeta because of the days. Keep cleansing it off. First of all, Stormtrooper, because SLKR will self-cleanse and the dots don't really do anything to him. Don't need to waste your basic Wat on him at least. So he will inevitably die, and then FOST will probably die soon after Wat dies. It's the same case as always, just a 1v1 at the end. And now we probably have one of the weirdest LV fights I've had. Then we got stuck here in a bit of a loop going on from Darth Vader when he does go into Merciless Massacre. I kind of panicked a bit. So I started taking loads of turns. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get stuck. I think here he starts to go mad. Yeah, but luckily Wat dies pretty quick, so it stops the cycle. Stop. I was like, oh my god, they're actually gonna kill my SLKR just doing the Merciless Massacre, but luckily we got a nice counter from FOST with an assist from SLKR, which is really nice and really helped cover a bit of health on SLKR. And again, to kill Darth Vader, so we got a bit of fortune there. Now FOST will die, and then, like always, the win SLKR. That was the last SLKR fight versus LV, and now we have Traya versus Grand Inquisitor. This is the first and only Grand Inquisitor I saw out of all 6 rounds. This was the first Grand Inquisitor I saw out of all 6 rounds. And nothing too scary here. Obviously, even though they do apply a lot of debuffs, Traya's lead just dispels them anyway. Once you isolate Night Sister, you can just go after Grand Inquisitor or whoever takes your fancy, really. Tried to get your ability block on Grand Inquisitor, didn't work out unfortunately. There's some nice cooldown increases. Held by Hatred. It's just a case of. Rest I got rid of Grand Inquisitor because he's about to take a turn. Doing any torture or AoE with his block. The only thing that has been is that 7th Sister can't assist at the moment because obviously 9th Sister is isolated, so like you can't assist on that whoever is isolated. That's just a case of waiting, basically. We wait for it now. Like, I probably could have just put this on full auto. Anything would have made any difference to banners wise at this point. Just to help by Hatred again there, just to try and see if I can cover with some protection, but got nowhere near full. Alright, now we have some very quick VS fights, pretty straightforward. Past the inevitable failure of the Dark Trooper, call in to assist on someone that you can kill, and that just keeps your train going. Asajj will take a turn just though because of her unique. Oh no, she doesn't. We managed to be going over that turn meter. 50% banners there, and this one's pretty straightforward as well. They didn't take a turn. Same thing. Assist on someone who's squishy, kill them. Get some turn meter, punch someone else, they die, more turn meter, punch someone else, they die, and you win. Or in this case, you get some banners stolen, or a banner stolen. Now the last 2 fights are Wampa fights. This one, first one is against Iden. Luckily with the Wampa Cron that you can get, so you can either get some health or tenacity on stats, and then you need the protection up when they inflict dots. So when Wampa is damaged or whatever it is from his unique from the Omicron, he does actually get protection up from that. So as you can see, his protection up can stack quite a lot. And because of this reason for this fight, I actually thought that I would have been able to counter CLS with GPO, which you normally wouldn't have been able to with just a normal Wampa without any sort of bonuses or anything. But as you're about to see, we do actually manage to kill a CLS team. Even with the tenacity and everything, it really doesn't matter because of the way the AI works. That CLS tends to do his TM removal and tenacity down first, so you can actually cleanse when you take a turn with Wampa. You just need to make sure Wampa is healthy enough and you are gaining enough T protection up, and he is just tanky enough to survive that initial onslaught there. You're about to see. Pretty much say on the item fights, they're pretty straightforward. We have the CLS fight to end off. So that is, I believe I counted 52 fights. Obviously these are all from both my accounts, so I do hope this has helped. I hope you have enjoyed this footage, and yeah, like and comment is always much appreciated, and I shall catch you in the next one.